Hello, everybody. My name is Mahael Abdul-Qawi. I'm the founder and representative of the Accountability Party for Human Rights. We are a political vanguard organization comprised of individuals of the working class who have chose a path of self-awareness and self-understanding to become something more for themselves, for their loved ones, family, and friends, and then, if they can, enlarge, use their external resources, to apply themselves to their community at large. In this video, I would like to discuss something that, again, as always, as in every video, I think is important for the working class to be aware of, as in, that is the point of these videos. What I would like to discuss in this one specifically is what is coming in November with the midterm election for the current administration that is right now in the White House. And, the reason why I want to talk about this and shine a spotlight on this, because like everything else that is discussed on this channel, we are not political. We are the working class, myself included. But my goal is to make sure that every individual, man and woman, black, white, Asian, Latino, gay, straight, bi, a, trans, whatever you may fall from, if you fall into the working class, it's important that you are aware of these things, because it is my duty to help, and what I've chosen to do to help push us forward and to become something more. And why it is important for this matter specifically for the working class to become aware of, because right now, in the 2020 elections, with all the hype that was around COVID, around Trump, and the quote-unquote monumental moment that was supposed to be, although it was just another political puppet show that they do every 4 years or every 8 years, when they want to generate some hype. We had a moment where the White House, the Senate, the House, the Congress is all predominantly Democrats. And when you have control, when your party has control of all branches of legislation, from the White House going all the way through Congress, you would think that the ideals of that party, the policies that party supposedly, quote unquote, the policies that the president, Joe Biden, ran on, promised the American people on, these same exact policies would be effortlessly passed, because you have your team dominating all areas. So it should be easy for you to slide in and to pass the promises that you told the American people on your campaign trail. But there's still one promise that people forget that you said, which is the most consistent promise that you've kept up with Joe Biden, and that was that you were ultimately not going to do anything at all, which I salute you for being consistent in one aspect. But it's important for the working class people to know about the complete and utter disgrace and embarrassing loss that is about to happen to the Democrats across the board throughout this country come this November in the midterm election, because they have failed to use their complete dominance in DC to pass anything beneficial that would give the working class people incentive to keep supporting them. Mind you, this is the party that has promoted itself to be for the working class, and they ultimately need the working class vote to stay in, because these guys on the right, the Republicans, they're so busy focused on culture wars and Trump and this and that, and let's not forget their prior years of being war hawks under the Bush administration, Bush's dad administration. So it's not like these guys are offering anything that the working class should be jumping for, other than they're not the liars and backstabbers that the Democrats are. But I mean, I hope, because it is obvious, it's not even some prediction, it's not even a conspiracy theory, to see that the Republicans are going to retake a lot of the House, possibly the Senate, just like they did with Obama. And when Obama was president, they were so focused on stopping him specifically that they didn't get a chance to actually maximize off of things that benefit the working class, actually supporting things that would have helped us ultimately. So if they are going to, well, not if, when they take it, I can only hope that they focus on the needs of the working class right now that we are crying out for, because the Democrats have not done jack shit. And it's important that the working class becomes aware of this, and this is where I will expand beyond the Republicans and Democrats. It's important that the working class becomes aware of this, because these people have lied to us. They have lied to the majority of the working class, regardless if you were black, Latino, if you were in some marginalized group. They fed on your identity politics and culture politics. They hyper focused on your fears and triggers, and said that this side, this enemy, if it has power in the White House, it's going to bring all your worst fears to life. These people, these uncivilized people that live in this part of America that's so desolate and weird, are going to come and attack you and your very comfortable way of life, and your Starbucks coffee, and your ability to shop in the most populous cities in the world. This political party has lied to you over and over again just to keep their power, so that way, ultimately, you live in a facade of comfort. The only ones who live in comfort are the elites across the board, but especially the ones that rallied from 2020 till now. The same hypocritical elites that can say to the working class people, oh, it's okay to pay higher price in gas. That's the sacrifice to support the Ukrainians as they fight, as the working class people of Ukraine fight the same way that we're fighting. Unfortunately, they have to fight an actual war because they're being used by elites. The best solidarity that we can do is protesting our government. We're not paying higher gas prices because you want to cause wars and sacrifice the working class people of another country for your political gains. It doesn't matter what the struggle is, whether it's an actual war or whether it's people in our country paying higher gas prices, our food being, we're all suffering because the elites are playing with us. They're using us for their battles. Why don't they get in a circle? Why don't they get in a ring and toss it out? We shouldn't have to sacrifice. We sacrificed enough in the last 2 years, in the last decades, in the last 50 years. Stop using us. And for the working class, be aware that the Republicans who come in maximizing off the Democrats' failure, they are not for you. They do not stand for us. So don't get caught up in size. Don't get caught up in this identity and tribal. If there's any tribe, it's the working class and them. That is it. So you must understand that there are going to be people that you may have not thought were your allies, but are your allies. And people that you would have assumed are your allies are actually your enemies. If they support these sides, they are feeding into an illusion. Nobody in that political elite structure and that Hollywood structure and that tech atmosphere, not Elon Musk buying Twitter, none of them are here for you. And that is a reality that the working class needs to accept. Because the more we keep looking to these people to handle our problems, our disagreements, the more broken we become. And the more of a dire position we put ourselves in when this foundation begins to fall. Right now it's cracking. You see pieces falling off, but when it actually starts to collapse, we can survive the wreckage of the society, but we have to take a stance and just steer the ship in our own winds. The Democrats, their experiment has failed. Stop turning to them. Stop voting for them. If you are going to vote for an independent voice who has real solidarity and real understanding and real experience of the working class. If you're going to waste a vote where there is a mutual understanding. Not for people who don't even know what it's like to live a fraction of what you live. And understand that happens on both sides. And inshallah, come November, we'll see what the new experiment will look like. And hopefully, again, the working class in the next several months starts to take those steps. And you see it already. You do see it already. With the success of certain union groups, people being more advocate, people more, there are more celebrities using their voices, their experiences to speak up and fight for a cause. Let's keep this going. Let's keep the momentum going, but it needs to expand if you want to make an actual dent. Right now, it's just noise. We need to make a dent, and inshallah, that can happen.